Before we get started, please take the time to like, add, and subscribe to our pages on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, and iTunes. Also, please leave us a review.
Have you been around like birds, like pet birds or anything like that?
No, birds aren't real.
Okay, okay. Well, that'll get. I'll get into the next story. We can wander our way over, because this is Wandering Ways.
What's Bigfoot possibility?
Clink.
Clink. What are you doing not bringing it to the camera? Who are you clinking?
Oh, I clinked the microphone because this is the Wandering Ways podcast where we have viewers and listeners and watchers and stalkers. No, I'm just kidding. We don't have stalkers. Joe, if you're listening, I was referring to you. And if your name is Joe and you don't know what I'm talking about, disregard. No, I'm just kidding. I want to welcome back the Wanderers to another wonderful Wandering Ways episode because that's what we do, Mark. We wander from left to right to up to down, open to close. It's just fun. It's good stuff.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's what we do here. We wander around and we talk about things involving nature. But anyways, how you been? It's been a hot minute.
Yeah, it has. It's also been a cold minute for me because Thanksgiving just happened. If you guys look back in past, you saw Thanksgiving weekend just happened. And if you're listening to this in July, it happened in November. But it was cold. We drove out to Oregon to go see the good old fam bam, and on our way back encountered a good old Montana blizzard. Started going up that Lookout Pass right there in Wallace, Idaho, and we're going 0 to 10 miles an hour in a blizzard, and all these semi trucks are pulled over in the right lane, putting chains on. It was crazy. Took us 3 hours to get there from there to Missoula.
Oh, I bet.
I was in my Honda Civic, not my Jeep, so it was just a little sketch.
Nice. Gotta love that.
Yeah, no, that was it was what it was, right? But it was good to be out into Oregon, see the family, go watch the Oregon State Beavers take on the Oregon Ducks and get that glorious Civil War victory. And I'm still going to call it the Civil War, even though there's some haters out there that wanted to change it and probably did. I think they did change it. So
yeah, it's officially not called that.
But
I heard them call it the Civil War on ESPN, so it can't be that far gone.
Well, and that's the thing is it's a battle between North and South, right? It's not it's a battle between two inner bodies. That's what a civil war is. It's not about referring to the U.S. Civil War. But that's
for a different podcast to debate that one on.
What are you up for? What have you been up for? What was your Thanksgiving like? Did you get to see the big Pacific Ocean?
I did. I saw the world's largest ocean. I've seen the world's largest ocean in the last 2 weekends. So it's been kind of nice. I don't think I'm going to make it a three-peat with this coming weekend, which is always a bummer. But anytime you get to see the world's largest and the world's deepest ocean, it's a treat. No, I went home to good old Seaside, saw the fam bam, ran a turkey trot, ate some turkey, and then came back in the rain, back down to Southern Oregon.
Nice. That's always lovely. It's a beautiful time of year. I was just, like I said, I was just out in Oregon as well. It was beautiful out there. Good stuff. I mean, it was foggy. The fog is kind of cool. If you ever get out to get Oregon, in a good rainy time and get to experience the fog, it makes it feel like every Halloween fantasy is coming alive out there.
Yeah, there is some kind of spookiness to that fog.
Yeah, and hence why you're wearing a beanie. It just kind of gives you that like cold feel, like you need to cover up and stay warm.
It's cold here. It's supposed to snow actually overnight. So
Oh, yeah, I forget you're kind of in the mountains. I'm actually up here. It was cold when we got in. It was about 90 degrees when we arrived yesterday morning, 3 a.m. Tuesday morning, 3 a.m. when we got back in. It's
nice.
21 right now. Going to drop down to 4. No, it was 4. It's going to be 26. It's been cold here in Billings.
It's that time of year. It's that time of year that it starts getting a little bit cold. It starts to put a little bit of precipitation out there. Starts to get a little snowy depending where you are. Or also depending where you are, it gets like really, really comfortable.
Well,
because it's hot as hell the other times of year.
right. And it feels to me like we're entering the season of like the people who do the outdoor activities. And don't get me wrong, if you're not one that does a lot of outdoor activities and you want to get into outdoor activities, you can start in the snow. But typically, those who do snow activities are more experienced. They do the camping, they do the hiking, the fishing. It's like, oh yeah, if you're going to go snowshoeing or you're going to go ice fishing, it's like you do the other outdoor hobbies most likely. You're not going to start quite there typically, but it makes me think of like today's episode where we're going to get into the tourons, the dumb tourists. You don't get as many in the winter. I mean, yeah, you get the guys like in Minnesota who build their ice huts and leave them out too long and they just like fall in the water. But I mean,
Yeah,
when,
I would
when it comes
say,
to moments.
yeah, I would say so. I think for the most part, you don't get as many Turon stories. But no, actually, that's low-key a really great segue into the actual meat and potatoes, or I guess turkey and stuffing of this week's episode, which is just funny or real stories that involve animals, because we haven't just chatted about animals in a while. So no, we found some articles. And since you mentioned that there's not many Turons in the winter, it brings up a great article that I found that apparently in Wyoming, well, I'm not going to say it's all Wyoming. I'm going to say that Jimmy Orr, the guy that wrote this, maybe he considers that the official start of spring, or the season opener in quotes in here, is when a tourist at a natural destination, such as the Yellowstone National Park or somewhere, does something that prompts a wild animal attack.
Yeah.
And it goes into the first one of the year, which is a moose. This guy goes to pet a moose and he gets fucked up. They have a video of it, and like if you want to see it, you totally can, but I mean he gets fucked up.
I mean, share that screen, boy.
All right.
And no, I mean, to use that kind of language this early on in the podcast, it's wild. But that's true. You look at these parks, but it's like winter. Good. This is the videos in winter, so that it doesn't match the article at all.
Yeah, but I mean
oh my god. He
Yeah.
just headbutts him. The moose just headbutts the dude and then just tramples him. Gang stop. Yeah. Go hit him with the snowmobile. Don't just like go and stop.
Oh yeah, there's a lot that goes on in this video, but I mean like,
oh, this guy probably broke his leg, huh?
So that guy, he gets fucked up.
This reminds me of the time Jared, he fell into the gumbo kind of mud at a lake where like you just sink down in it. It's kind of like
yeah.
And he ripped his toenail off doing that.
Ow.
Big toe too. Yeah.
Still, that hurts. Doesn't matter what toe.
I was there and I said, dude, you gotta let me film this. No one's gonna believe it. And he's like, "Oh, fuck you, I'm getting all mad." And I was like, no, dude, you gotta let me film this because like you're gonna like want the video at some point to show people like look at this like agonizing pain I was in.
I mean, I think originally the guy's like, dude, give me on video petting this moose. And then it went to I'm on video getting absolutely fucked up by a moose.
They are violent, they are aggressive creatures if you guys didn't already know that.
No, my favorite though is they like try to help by just revving their snowmobiles like
Hit
a
'em.
little bit closer.
Go hit the moose in the back leg with the front of the snowmobile. It'll run away. Like
Yeah,
get 'em.
they had to do something a little bit more. But other than that, they were kind of just watching their buddy get his ass kicked.
I mean, do you want me to film you if you ever get attacked by a moose?
No, because I hopefully am never gonna get attacked by a moose. I like to think I'm smarter than like go up and pet it.
Fair, fair, fair. No, that was interesting. I mean, also brings up a good point, that video. I like that video. I need to go snowmobiling in Yellowstone this winter.
Oh, it's I mean I didn't go snowmobiling, but you have to do it like in special tours and stuff now.
That's fine.
I mean it's still worth it, but if
Exactly.
like you can't like think like you're just gonna go anywhere you want, like you're in kind of a caravan type deal.
No, that trip, that won't be me and Thea down there. I'm thinking maybe we'll do a Wandering Ways review of that, and then the other trip, which I'm hoping maybe you or Matt can sneak on over for a weekend, is get up over to Sealy and rent some snowmobiles and just get out there, get up on those lakes, get out in those trails, and just hit them hard with the snowmobiles as well as the ice fishing. Because why not?
Yeah, we'll have to figure some sort of trip out, especially figure out the summer one that's coming up.
Yeah, because I hear it might go international.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Ooh, this guy's got some. This guy's got something up his sleeve.
No, I don't know where we would do it. But
another one I want to get going possibly is a Teddy Roosevelt National Park. It's kind of one of those underrated ones. So,
oh yeah, that's what I keep hearing.
you want me to bring up the next story, my guy? I got a good story.
Yeah. Let's do you have the next one in our journey of funny stories.
We're going to fly on over because this one is about parrots. Putting in time out for a cruising. 5 African gray parrots, their names, Billy, Eric, Tyson, Jade, and Elsie, recently had to be separated for encouraging each other to swear at patrons at the Lincolnshire Wildlife Center in the UK. We are quite used to parrots swearing, but we've never had 5 at the same time. And for some reason, these 5 relish it. Steve Nichols, the zoo chief's executive, told the AP. People were mainly entertained by the potty mouth parrots. When a parrot tells you to fuck off, it amuses people very highly. It's brought a big smile to a really hard year, he said. But for the sake of children, the zoo decided it was best to put the birds into separate enclosures until they can behave. Fun fact, former U.S. President Andrew Jackson kept an obscene parrot as a pet. Fun fact, Andrew Jackson is a piece of shit president who sent the natives on a trail of tears. That was my fun fact at the end.
I was like, damn, I really got dark there with the fun facts. How funny would it be if you're just like walking by and a parrot's just like, fuck off?
It would be great. I would film it.
Yeah, it would be. It would also be funny to see like if the 5 parrots like fed off each other, you know?
Oh, I assume so. I assume that's what they're saying, the 5 together, because it's like,
yeah.
Like, I'm curious though, because it was in the United Kingdom, do they have British accents?
No, I bet they still have that parrot accent. I bet the cussing is like all like British slang and stuff. So it's probably just like a bunch of like you wanker.
Yeah. Hobknocker.
Yeah. Yeah, stuff like that a parrot's just calling you, which would be even funnier for me because I'm not in the UK. So it's like I don't hear that terminology all the time. So it's funny when someone calls you like a wanker here in the States because you're like, that's not our slang. So to hear a parrot do it would be like equally as funny.
Have you been around like birds, like pet birds or anything like that?
No, birds aren't real.
Okay, okay. Well, that'll get. I'll get into the next story with that comment here in a little bit. But but my ex had parrots, or no, her sister had like the little parakeet things that you can get at like PetSmart, Petco,
Yeah.
and she would just let them fly around the house. They would just poop everywhere, and they thought like, I don't, birds not for me, not for me. I'm
No.
good on all levels. Like even penguins, like you see them on like the videos and the animations, you're like, oh, cute. But then you actually go to the zoo and you see a penguin, you're like, oh, it's still a bird,
It's a derpy bird that wears a tuxedo.
right?
But,
Right.
but I mean,
No,
none of
well,
them are real.
you were talking about, yeah, exactly. None of them being real. So this one right here, this one. So a spy pigeon exonerated, set free. That's the article headline. A Pakistani pigeon was arrested by Indian law enforcement on suspicion of being a spy. The bird flew over the continuous border and was apprehended due to a suspicious ring around its ankle printed with numbers. The numbers were actually the cell phone number of the pigeon's owner. After a thorough investigation, the pigeon was deemed not a threat to national security and was set free. It was just an innocent bird, police told Reuters. But before you can laugh it off, you should know this wasn't the first case of avian espionage in the area. In 2016, a pigeon was taken into Indian custody after it was found with a note threatening Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. While we were on the topic, sort of, check out 9 ways you didn't realize the government could be spying on you. Oh, that was a link.
Hey, they're not real. There's a whole website. You can go check it out. Birds got like completely annihilated, I believe, in like 1984.
George Orwell. Yep, you heard it there first.
Yeah,
No,
birds aren't real. They're surveillance devices.
do you not believe that?
That birds aren't real?
Yeah.
Have you not checked out the website? It will convince you
I mean, I'm asking you personally,
that I
man to
think
man,
that if birds are real or aren't real.
man to man.
I mean, I don't think we can trust it.
I mean, pigeons are weird. And the fact that like the carrier pigeon has been like wiped out to extinction, and we all of a sudden have this other pigeon. But Travis Diamond, our guy, he was talking about he's a birder, and he was telling me like there's like a sparrow or a swallow or something like that here in the US that's just taking over like natural habitats of like finches and like other little birds here in the States. And they do that. Like birds are a vicious creature, and in I don't know. I mean, there's something to it too, because it's like we have the national bird. Eagles are very important. People get like like really into like those large birds and those large beaked birds specifically when it comes to like even like ancient religions.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something to it.
Like
Have you seen there's like
there's
a
a
funny
connection to flying.
oh, what's that?
There's a connection to flying.
Uh yeah, I mean probably, especially like early on, like before we had planes, because it's like, oh, that's something we can't do,
Exactly.
which would
Now
be
we can. Fuck you,
yeah.
birds.
We do it now, and I believe we kill a lot of birds due to the flying.
But I'm sure, I mean, there's birds are also smart. So I know for a fact that you're able to use them like in war. They did in wars. You did hear about that kind
That's
of
why
stuff.
they're not real.
And I mean, you got the bird flu. That's real. I mean, birds are interesting.
They're a
I'm not a
little
fan of them, but
I'm
they
not either.
yeah.
But anyways, I'm gonna move on. We're gonna go on to something that equally as suspicious, but more for the people of Japan, specifically and I apologize, I'm gonna butcher this, but the Hokkaido region.
Hokkaido.
Yes, something like that. But title of the article is Giant Ninja Bear has been attacking dairy farms in the Hokkaido for 3 years. Japan's northernmost prefecture of Hokkaido is home to much of the country's bear population. But while there are a lot of bears, only one of them is known as the ninja bear. No one has ever seen the ninja bear directly, but images of the stealthy animal were captured on security footage in the town of Shebeka this past July, as shown in a video. This is the first time the bear has been seen since 2009, when it was also caught on the security camera footage. The bear, but while it's the ninja bear's skill of avoiding detection that earned its nickname, the moniker would be just as appropriate for its penchant for midnight assassins. Based on paw tracks, DNA samples from fur and droppings, and attack methodology, the ninja bear is suspected to roughly 60 attacks on dairy cows at the farms in this area and neighboring.
That's enough food for a lifetime if you think about it, when you're talking like 2009 being caught on camera. I'm about it.
Well,
Like
it
I'm
it
for
mentions why it's kind of odd that there's that many, and it's ordinarily a bear, when it makes a kill of something that large, it will stay in the area and eat on that one kill, whereas this bear only takes a portion of the cow it kills and then disappears back into the forest, only for its next attack to take in a completely different part of a two-town area.
wow. I'm about it.
It's kind of wild that there's this bear just like, I mean, straight up being a ninja.
Makes you question. I mean, bears are really cool creatures. They really are. They are smart. They're curious, very much so curious. Um, and they have their patterns, but they also have their uniquenesses in this way. Like you get out in like East Glacier, you'll get those grizzlies where it's like there's 12 grizzly bears just hanging out in one field together on like a
Yeah.
beautiful spring day. It's and you don't see that a lot, and there's some things like that you just don't see. um Makes sense. And is this bear's probably way of also adapting. You wonder what kind of regulations are in the Hokkaido area for like bear hunting, bear trapping. Is it protected, like all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff? Because ranchers here in the States don't like bears. They're going to shoot a bear, even if they don't have a tag or whatnot. But that brings up something interesting to me too, because I'm very a part of like the giving, right? It's like you build your big beef herds for a reason, and it's like, who cares if a bear gets one or two a year? That one or two should be an offering to a bear, because you are sharing the area with it, and they're not taking the best cows. They're taking your weak ones. They're taking the ones that are easy to get when they are. So it's like kind of cool to see this, where you have a bear and he's going in different areas and he's not striking the same part, but that's also showing that bears can adapt and bears can change to these regions. And it's like he's not going to keep coming back.
I mean, we're talking about a 3-year span. This bear's getting 20 kills a year.
But spread that out. That's one every 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess, but for only taking portion of it, there's a lot of wasted meat in this bear.
That's all you need though for a bear, because they also eat like moths and shit like that.
Yeah,
And
but why
berries,
wouldn't you
like
just have the one cow then?
how much meat do you eat in your diet?
Not as much as a bear, but I eat a lot of a cow.
But it's a percent, right? Maybe this guy's like, hey, I don't I like to hunt, but I don't like, I want to run away from it. I'm just going to take a little bit here and there.
This is
Maybe
the
it's a
only bear
dude
ever
dressing up
that
like
has
a
like
bear.
portion control.
They're adapting.
I I just find it odd. I
They
mean, it's
saw
a
a diet.
bear doing its thing, but um
No, it is. I mean, it's interesting because you're right. Like bears do eat. They'll sit there and eat. They'll come back, right? Like they'll go sleep for the night and then they'll come back and like, oh, here's this bison laying here in Yellowstone. I'll gobble it up today, and like you'll scare off the wolves and coyotes. And it's like the wolves and coyotes are the ones that come and get their portions because
Yeah.
they're getting them and running away because they'll get attacked.
Unless it's a
Um,
ballsy
but bears are
ballsy bear.
scavengers too.
Yeah, that's true.
It's someone,
Uh
maybe it's someone dressing up like a bear.
Keeping on the bear theme right now, I'm just curious. Have you seen, and apparently this is a real movie that's based off of true events. Have you seen that there's a movie coming out called Cocaine Bear?
What? No.
Yeah, and it's as advertised. The movie is about bear that eats cocaine and goes wild.
Nice.
So I was kind of thinking of getting into sport fishing again, but I feel like I need a good quality net.
Well, you know what, Reverend? I got the key solution for you. You know, our friends at Blue Ribbon Net make this eco-friendly aquafade bag, so you're not hurting the environment. It's 100% biodegradable. Plus, the wood is locally sourced and it is also biodegradable. And it's just such a great company to use. The Blue Ribbon Nets, they're here in Bozeman, Montana. And we even have a discount code. That's right. If you use the code Rougarou10, that's right. That's my Jeep, the Rougarou. Rougarou10, Rugaru10. You're going to get some discount on a Blue Ribbon net. You know, you can get the long one if you're fishing the big fish, or you can get just a good river one, you know, if you're like me and just want to catch a lot of fish.
So again, make sure you go check out Blue Ribbon and use the promo code Rougarou10.
Hey there, Reverend. I heard that you might be running dry on your sticker supplier.
Yeah, I've been looking around and I've kind of like run out of cool stickers to buy and put on water bottles and stuff.
Well, I mean, have you seen the stuff Josh has been coming out with lately?
No, I have not.
Well, he is doing some really cool stuff with the Shop LS 574. Yes, they're working with indigenous communities and making some really cool stickers. He has a really cool Buffalo Mountain sticker. There's even water bottles, hats, sweatshirts, the whole swag. And we even got a discount code for you guys. Yes, if you use Wandering Ways at Shop LS 574, you're going to be getting a discount on your next purchase. But not only that, you're going to be giving a percentage of that sale to the Little Shell Tribe, as well as they donate $1 of every sale to murdered and missing Indigenous women. So just such a cool thing going on there. You know, you use the code Wandering Ways, WANDERING and you put that in there, boom, you're getting a discount.
We've talked a lot about animals being kind of derpy or animals doing cool things or some cool stuff. So, keeping with that theme and keeping on brand here, it's time for some cool shit in nature. This week got two of them as per used, but this time it's a picture and then it's a video that's not really like a true cool shit in nature. It's just got some helpful information, and I thought actually you personally, Zach, could really enjoy or find helpful as well.
Helpful information's always cool.
Yeah, but this first one's just a picture. It's a bunch of sockeye salmon in the water. This one took me straight back to Alaska, which is why I found it or saved it to show us cool shit in nature because it's pretty freaking cool to see how many of them there are.
Well, it's cool because you got like a beautiful blue sky day.
Yeah.
And it's making that water pop and the red pop in these fish.
That's very true.
Like normally when you see these sockeye salmon like this, they're in the they like it's a gray day,
Yeah, that's true. No, it's a good day to get this kind of a picture, but I mean they do pop in the water for sure.
And it's a good angle. Like, I mean, just the like see the water and the land and just all those fish.
Yeah, he's got a good little bubble on his camera. But no,
Yeah,
so
tell
that's
them about it.
picture. Next one, this one, I think you'll find super informative, and I think the wanderers will too.
Attack. If the bison's
Dylan,
charging at you, headbutt it to stun it, roll underneath it, move into squat position, squat it into the air, grab its back, and double knee it in the back on the way down. Guys, these things literally eat grass for crying out loud. Nobody should struggle to do this. Here is
Yeah.
how you survive a bison attack.
So
if the bison's charging at you, headbutt it to stun it, roll underneath it.
essentially, for anybody that's just watching or just listening, it's this guy that he can here to teach you how to survive a bison attack.
he's going to wrestle it, and that's what you're going to do. You're just going to headbutt it and drop it down, spin it, and you win. Bison. They just eat grass. He says they just eat grass. That's it. That's all they eat.
Yeah, so I thought you could really find that helpful because you go to Yellowstone all the time, and I know you get close to them bison, and so just double knee it in the back and then squat it.
I don't know. I mean, I really don't know what I would do.
If you were getting charged.
Yeah.
Tell you the truth, I think I would go into a ball.
Ball or like part of me is like go up.
No, because then he's gonna flip you and you're gonna get hurt from the gravity coming down too.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, you're fucked. So like going into a ball, I think like you can at least try and protect your head, and try and protect like some organs and stuff. But I mean, you're kind of fucked.
Yeah. You gotta want him to give up on you.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get into a tree really, really quick.
Yeah. Okay. Fair, fair, fair.
They,
No, I'm kind of mad though, because I sent you over from a really sketchy website a cool shit nature, and you're like, I'm not gonna pull this up.
no, my the computer slowed way down. I was like, we're done.
No, but it was a video of a raccoon, as you say, or raccoon or raccoon, um, jumping up on the girl's paddleboard and like taking her bag and like swimming away with it. Like they're little interesting buggers, huh?
Oh yeah, they're very mischievous. Very, very mischievous. Though speaking of things that have adapted, the raccoon has really adapted to the life of humans.
No, it has because they say studies show that cars in nature actually hit more raccoons than the ones in cities because they've adapted to like
Yeah.
climbing power lines and stuff like that. I mean, I've had some crazy experiences myself. Back when in Corvallis there, I was walking home one day and like in the like where they put the newspaper out, there's little huts, those boxes. There
Yeah.
was one, and he was just, "Hey, what's up, guy?" And you're just like, "What the hell, man? Like, I'm good."
We used to feed them growing up. We'd like go to Central Oregon every year in the summer, and we'd see like families, and I mean like it'd be like 10 raccoons, and so we used to feed them like cookies.
Oh gosh, yeah, they're interesting. You're not supposed to do that.
I know, really, it's big bad no no.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't do that, but no, it happens. People back in the days didn't do it right.
No, no, we didn't do a lot of shit right back then. Um, but I believe you have another story
I believe I do. I believe I do.
to continue on this trend of
I got two kind of
stories.
sorta, but the more one that fits the script, the octopus shakes rescuer's hand. And I know you got a theory about an octopus, and
They're
we
aliens.
can yeah, exactly. Here we go. An Egyptian couple found an octopus stranded on the beach and decided to move it back to deeper waters. It looked near death, and they were worried about their new friend. So they went back to check on it the next day, only to discover it was alive and well. Perhaps the octopus had been looking for them too, because for the next hour it followed them along the beach, occasionally reaching out a tentacle to shake hands or high one. After appropriately thanking rescuers, it headed back out to sea.
I was going to ask you, if you got a high five from an octopus, would it be a high five or a high one?
Or would it be like, would it like stick? So would you call it something else?
Yeah, I don't know.
It octopus they're very smart creatures, as
Ooh,
scientists
super
have
smart.
figured out. You have a theory that they're aliens.
Yeah, I do I do have a theory that they're aliens because of how smart they are. The theory is they came on a meteorite. The species came on a meteorite, and because in the grand scheme of it, when you ask yourself, what is or what does an alien look like? And we always go to the classic, like kind of big bubbled head, kind of big buggy eyes, and then the rest is like very humanoid like. But in reality, it could literally be anything. Like, could be freaking bacteria for all we know, or fungi could be, anything like that. So leaving it to the octopi as possibly being, and then that they have no like real, there's no like real evolutionary like chain. So there's like, what did it evolve from? It's kind of just always been an octopus. So it's like, all right, alien.
Yeah, and I mean, there's so much going on in the ocean that we don't know about. We're just learning things about those giant squids and sperm whales, and whales for that matter, daily. There's Oregon State University does some good stuff with the whales.
Oh yeah.
I was on TikTok the other day, and I was like scrolling, and I came across a video where this girl was talking to a spy. And her dad's a spy. She's interviewing him. And she asked him the question, do you think there are underwater cities out there that
That's such a fascinating question.
and I'm curious.
If I think there is,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to clock in at no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mean,
I
it's
have
not quite.
I have nothing to really base the idea that they are, other than like we just don't know what's down there type deal.
We have submarines, those like there's tons of submarines out in the water right now, right? You tell me there's not like a military base of those underwater somewhere?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't think so.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm okay with it. That's fine.
Taking it, you think that?
But if there isn't now, there will be in the future.
Oh, I think there will be in the future too. We're
Like,
we're gonna flood everywhere, so we gotta get used to the water.
well, and that's what, yeah, like I mean, is we're like humans by nature kind of colonize, especially the white ones, and like we want to colonize the moon, we want to colonize Mars, so it's like, why wouldn't
I
they do
know.
that to the water too?
Yeah, I mean that's
People
fair.
are weird.
I think it'd be better if we colonized the water. Well, I don't think it would be good, but if you're looking at what it does to us as people, I think colonizing the water would be better because we're staying on this planet rather than trying to live on another planet.
Makes sense. Oh yeah, fair.
So
I get what you're saying.
yeah,
I
but
got one last story here, kind of sort of gotten for you. It's kind of not. It's about animals. So yes.
Fits the
Says,
criteria.
title this exactly. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the fattest bear of them all? And it's a national park podcast. We talk about national parks on here. So why not? We talk about Fat Bear Week, hosted every year by the Katmai Conservancy. Allows the public to vote for which Alaskan bear will be the chunkiest before going into hibernation. After making a donation to a charity, people got to vote for one of the Lardaceus Leviathan levels chunky challengers on Fat Bear Tuesday. This year it was October 6th. Adipose went to Bear 747, affectionately nicknamed Jumbo Jet. The brown bear weighs at least 1,400 pounds, something that will help make him comfortably through the cold winter.
Fun fact about Katmai National Park.
Have
I've
you
been
seen? That's the fun fact, right? That you've been.
I've been to Katmai.
Mark of the Wandering Ways team.
I've been there.
Have you seen that competition before? I have. I've seen it.
I have
Facebook
seen it
and
actually.
Instagram.
Yeah, I've seen that they do it every year. I think it's great.
I think it's weight shaming. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but this time, like, you want the fat bears.
Exactly. The little ones go. But it makes sense because it is a competition both for the bears out there in the wilderness and, the winter. Like, with climate change, whether you believe it in or not, you should believe in it because you look at places like Alaska where these seasons are changing. It's like some of the winters, it's how they hit. They're, they don't get snow early enough. They don't have a fall. They don't have enough ice. The way the snow comes down, the way the storms come in are a little harsher. Are they worse? That affects everything from the bears to the insects, to the plants, and is a whole chain of things. So it's like you monitor that and you can monitor probably the bears and like, it's crazy to think like you look in like the journals, the Lewis and Clark journals, the other like historical documents of like people conquering the West, like they would get bear up to like 2,000 pounds. And you're talking the winner of this competition being like 1,400. Like that's what we've done to bears. We've decimated that population to where it's like they're not even getting to where they used to be.
Right. Yeah, that's always a fascinating thing to see, like the sheer numbers and size of things, like back when there just wasn't a lot out here other than all the sheer size and number of things has gone to people. That's unfortunate, but it's the time, unfortunately, we live in. But it's always nice to see that there are still some fat bears out there. Hopefully that competition can keep going, and I don't know, keep an eye out on it. Maybe make that donation and then vote on a fat bear next year.
What kind of bear are you most afraid of?
A polar bear.
Yeah, bear. Yeah.
Grizzlies.
I'd be afraid of a grizzly just because I feel like I would encounter one of those most likely in my life. But yeah, polar bear are most vicious.
Yeah, for sure. I think, if I get in a fight with a bear, polar bear, for sure, no. Brown bears would suck, but you could play dead. A black bear, I think you could cheekily beat if you punch him just right.
Yeah, you'd want like a little one, but not one of those like you see them down there in like Florida or.
I know. Don't get me wrong. I think a black bear would fuck me up, but I think if you give it a good whop, especially like on the nose, like
with a stick or something.
Yeah, I think I could win that. Well, I don't know if winning's the right word, but survive that fight.
Panda bear.
Oh, that would be they would hug you. They would literally just hug you.
Koala bear.
You get chlamydia.
Okay, Matt.
That the chlamydia and koala bears is a big problem, actually.
Oh, fair.
But that's just it. Speaking of the clap, that is that is kind of where we're ending it. It's time for our final words, because it's that time. So I'm gonna go final words, my guy.
I'm super, 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 super excited. We got some good stuff coming up down the chute, hoop de hoop for you guys. No, seriously, we got some good interviews coming up. We got some good podcast episodes. I was really excited today for today's recording. I was like hyped up. I was playing music. I was doing some dances. I was like, we got this. We coming out here. We're gonna just record some nature loving. No, we're just here to talk about nature, to catch up, to have a good time, inform you where we're at, where we're going, what we're doing. Make sure you stay tuned into the socials. We have tons of cool stuff on the social medias. You can see. I know Mark has a blog, so check that blog out, and you can always shoot us an email at wanderingwayspodcast@gmail.com. WANDERINGWAYSPODCAST@gmail.com, and just hit the reverse button on your phone to rehear that. I'm not going to say it again. All right, Reverend, it's your turn.
Final words of wisdom from the Reverend himself. Stay beautiful, everybody. I can't tell you how much I appreciate every single one of you for listening through this podcast, all of that fun stuff. Make sure you're going. Weather's getting colder. We talked about how it's cold where we both live. So put on a jacket. Grab a nice blanket, make some good hot cocoa, some cider, some tea, all that fun stuff. And enjoy the winter. The winter, it's a peaceful, kind of eerie, spooky, and it's wonderful, and it's just as awesome as a spring, a summer, or a fall. So you should still go out and enjoy it and all that fun things. And with that being said, peace out, everybody.
Bye.